Single people can't catch a break. The true winners of this life are happy couples that live together. Because let me tell you why. They get to split everything. Depending on your dynamic, your man might be taking everything on, even better. But what do you mean I'm single and I have to pay every single bill? I have to pay rent. I have to pay council tax, groceries, internet. Oh my God, it's just never ending. The winner of the cost of living crisis is happy couples that live together. Shout out you guys, you won.
Oh, my friends, we are now starting to see a shift in the way women are talking about relationships. And that's why I call this segment When Reality Hits. Because reality is something that we cannot avoid. None of us. And so what we're going to see, my friends, is a lot of women waking up and realizing, I've been doing this shit wrong. But what we're going to also see is what happens when women realize that they're wrong. A lot of them actually double down. And it's those women who double down are the dangerous ones for the relationship market. Because these women who are doubling down, they're the ones that are coping. And those are the ones that are trying to make you feel better about yourself, ladies. Okay? So my friends, subscribe if you haven't already. Please book a session with me if you would like any help with your life, my friends. I'm here for you. Okay? Join our membership system. This Saturday, we're going to have our next Zoom open session where you can call in over 2 hours. This is private. This is not going to be posted. And you can ask any questions and we can all get together as a community and share ideas and share issues, problems, whatever. So that's this Saturday and it will be at 10 a.m. New York time. But if you want to join that, you have to join our membership system. It's free. Seriously, it's free. The link is up there. You can just click on it, join us on Zoom, grab a cup of coffee, and enjoy the show. So you could either watch or participate. Totally up to you. Now, so what we just saw was a lady from England, British. Once you hear the accent and you hear the word council tax, that's British. All right? So she's now woken up and realized that, hey, you know what? This 50-50 shit probably isn't such a bad idea because at this point, I'm paying 100% of my bills. So reality has pretty much gave her a good old 1-2 job and woken her the hell up because it's rough. The UK economy is rough right now. You guys should see the amount of Brits flooding into Dubai looking for opportunities. There's so many British people over here. Every one of them have the same complaint. Oh, the economy is shit. The economy is really bad. It's really bad. You wanted Brexit? Hey. I'm not going to get political, but the economy is bad. So a lot of people are leaving, especially the young people. The young people who have the ability to be mobile and move freely, they're going to do it.
Now this singlehood pain me. You know, all this while I've been working, I didn't really feel it. But now that I'm on holidays, No boyfriend. Just alone. And I know Valentine is coming. Valentine will be worst.
So there we are in Africa. Same shit, same thing. It hits them when they're no longer distracted. As long as they got daddy job, my husband, the job, my career, it's a freaking job, okay? You're working for someone, you're under the freaking thumb of someone else who basically runs your life. They prefer to settle for a job, but they won't settle for a man. But when they're alone, now they have time to think. And there's no one else to share these experiences with. All of her other friends are doing or they have their man. She's left alone. So basically, these are two problems that are hitting women hard. And listen, it's not like it doesn't hit men as well, but it doesn't affect men as bad as it affects women. The loneliness and the financial problems that women have are the two most basic problems. The loneliness is a major issue for women, but more importantly, and what hits them harder, is the financial stress because women are higher consumers than men. And when a woman is alone, she spends more money on herself rather than having the man spend on her. What was that expression I had in my last video? Men save more money when they're alone. Women save more money when they have a man. Yes. But it's the man that's spending the money on them.
Someone said men save money being single and women save money being in a relationship.
So what we've seen British, we've seen African. Let's go to China. I can't help teasing Trump.
我有个问题真的是百思不得其解，为什么有些女的花男人的钱怎么就那么容易呀？
I really can't figure it out. Why is it that some girls can so effortlessly make men willingly spend money on them? And I'm not talking about small amounts here. It's dozens of yuan, hundreds of yuan, even tens of thousands of yuan, and there are still men lining up to pay. I seriously want to know, what do these girls look like exactly? Are they goddesses descended from heaven? Or do they possess some earth-shattering, ghost-weeping magical skills? This kind of money-attracting ability, shouldn't there be a training course for it? Please, I honestly want to sign up. I'm even willing to pay for it. And then look at myself sigh. It's honestly heartbreaking to say this. I can't even get a man to buy me a cup of milk tea. What kind of life am I living? I'm starting to wonder if I'm even worthy of being a woman. During the Spring Festival, I went on so many blind dates I lost count, at least 8 or 9 times, right? And in every single one of them, I was the one who spent the most money. Just take watching movies, for example. I became the top contributor to the box office, not because I love watching movies so much, but because my blind dates kept taking me to see one movie after another, and I paid for all the tickets myself.
I could introduce her to Shira 7. Sprinkle. She'll tell her how to freaking suck the simps dry.
Many Chinese men are really getting serious now and becoming more and more tough. More and more single men are entering a kind of extreme singleness and retaliatory non-marriage. They no longer pursue women, no longer act like simp dogs, no longer fall in love, no longer get married or have children. The 4-no principles. In terms of emotions, their performance is simply unrestrained. And now, many women are still promoting their contribution in childbirth. In contrast, today's men are cutting it off at the root. They simply stop dating, stay away from women, and earn money for themselves to spend. Women no longer have the leverage to control men by emphasizing their value in childbirth. If men can't afford to offend, can't they at least avoid it? In the future, we'll just see each other in the nursing home. Honestly, many women nowadays really have no self-awareness. From the very beginning of getting to know a guy to starting a relationship, it's all about testing him in various ways.
See, this is the thing. Women save money when they have a man. But Chinese men have caught on and they're saying, yeah, no. You got to pay for your share, I pay for my share. So this woman realized, I'm not saving any money going out with these men. She getting a taste of reality. When reality hits, my friend, it's hitting women all over the world.
Brothers, have you noticed a shocking trend lately? More and more women can't even pay off their credit cards anymore. Overdue payments have become a daily occurrence. Why? Because the simp economy that once supported their high-consumption lifestyle has completely collapsed. Statistics show that the credit card delinquency rate among women has surged more than 20 times compared to before. Do you know why? Because these gold diggers can no longer find simps to help them pay off their credit cards. Just think about it. Those so-called Bai Fu Mei used to earn only 3,500 yuan a month, yet they were always eating Japanese food or having afternoon tea. They wore nothing but LV and Gucci, used Chanel lipstick, drank expensive red wine, and lived in high-end apartments. Could they afford all that on their own? Of course not. It was all funded by a group of simps who willingly paid for everything and pampered them. Those men thought they were investing in love, but in reality they were just being drained by consumerism. But now the simps have woken up. People no longer foolishly act as ATMs. So what's the result? These gold diggers have already gotten used to a luxurious lifestyle, and there's no way they can go back to low-consumption living. So in order to maintain their so-called high-end and refined lifestyle, they have no choice but to keep maxing out credit cards and applying for online loans, eventually falling into a debt trap. What's even more ironic is that they're too embarrassed to borrow money from their parents.
Wow. Ooh, it seems like Chinese men have caught on seriously to women's nature. Combine that with the serious downturn in the Chinese economy. Men can't afford it, period. So you have a slowdown in the economy and you got men waking up. Those two things are going to affect women's spending and the simp economy in a huge way. A lot of men cannot do it anymore, even if they want to do it. And there's a lot of men who've woken up and said, no, I don't want to do it. I'm not doing it anymore. Because the juice ain't worth the squeeze. A lot of men realize that they're getting scammed. And there's a lot more channels like these opening up in China that are influencing men's behavior.
This is going to be a vulnerable post, and I hope that you guys give me the grace and space to talk about how I feel, because I don't think it's an uncommon feeling, and I also want to know if anybody else can identify with it. Being single is starting to feel like a punishment, and this is coming from somebody who generally really does enjoy being single, and I really value my solitude. Now, I think there are a few things that are playing into this feeling. I can definitely identify that for me personally, I think the emotion is coming from a place where I am longing for somebody else to really care for me. I'm longing for somebody to really want me. I'm longing for somebody to be interested in me genuinely. And before y'all say it, I am in therapy. I've been in therapy for over a year now, and it does work wonders. And I do love myself. I pour into myself. I'm selfish.
I do love myself. I am selfish. I wonder if she understands what the word selfish means. Pretty much means that you're all about self. You don't really care about anyone else. And this is what I keep telling you guys, right? Once you've been on your own for a long time, you become so self-absorbed, so internalized. It's all about me, 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 me. It's all about me. You never had to provide or to look out for someone else's financial or emotional or physical well-being, that you honestly think that just looking out for yourself is a good thing. I will keep telling you all this until it's drilled into your subconscious. The real definition of a relationship and a marriage, a good solid one, is serving the other person. Serving the person that you have chosen to live the rest of your life with. I served my wife for 22 years. She served me for 22 years. Sometimes she's weak. I help her up. Sometimes I am weak. She helps me up. It's a constant serving. And then together we serve our kids. Okay? Because they're not able to give back to us as much as they would like to right now. And listen, they give back in an emotional space. I teach my girls how to be emotional. Make sure they give daddy hugs. Make sure they give daddy kisses and affection. That is how they're paying us back. They're showing their love and affection and their appreciation. So we give and take. That's what freaking relationships are. All she has said is she looking for someone to give into her, pour into her, pour into her, to her, to her, to her. Nothing in there is where she says, I want to take care of a man. Let's hear what else she has to say. She might surprise us. Let's listen.
And I have done the work to actually decenter men and relationships, but I am still simultaneously wanting companionship. I think the second thing at play for me is never being anybody's first choice. And it's just so conflicting because I understand that male validation is a check that you can never cash, but that doesn't take away the human desire I have to be wanted. And I would like to be wanted by somebody who is a peer, not an older man that just wants somebody younger than him, and definitely not somebody who feels like they're settling for me. There are so many other reasons I don't think I can fit them all in one video, so let me know if y'all want a part 2. But the last point I'm going to leave you guys on, for me, is just sheer loneliness. I have an amazing friend group, I have great family, and I am always in good company with myself. But I feel like over time, being single, there is a really large part of myself that I constantly have to suppress, and it makes me sad that I don't get to use that piece of myself often enough. That is a desire to nurture somebody, to love somebody, to care for somebody, and just be vulnerable with somebody.
Okay, she said it in the end. To nurture somebody, to care for somebody. You should have led with that. You should have led with that. That should be at the forefront of your freaking mind. And I'm talking to you ladies in general. If you are going to sell yourself to a man, the first thing you got to do is tell him what are you going to offer him, not what you want from him. You're not the prize. Yeah, deal with that reality. Men can stay on their own. They have no problem with that. You need him more than he needs you. Because the things that he wants from you, he can more than likely buy. And more than likely, that's going to be the first thing that you pull back from him when you're trying to manipulate him, which is the sex and the affection. You need all of his finances. You need his finances. You need his attention. You need his meat. Shout out to Coach Greg Adams. Money, energy, attention, and time. And you need it. And you need those 4 quantities constantly. But of course, he also has to be able to entertain you as well. Men don't get the best deal when he's in a relationship. Unless you're providing him with a child where you're going to be a good mother, there's no real good exchange, to be honest. Now, let's listen to the women who are coping. Here's the first one.
There is nothing wrong with being single, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, and I'll put it on my fucking tombstone one day. I would rather be single and happy than be in a relationship and have my loved ones go, why is she with him? And you know what? I
hear this shit with women all the time. Why would you be with someone that you're not happy with in the first place? Unless that man switches up completely, which is rare. What you see with the man in the beginning is probably what you're going to get in the end. Because if you had chosen him for his ambition, for his money, for his style, for his all of these things, and you're working with that man constantly, that man really don't have any reason to lose those characteristics unless you're broken that man. And if you women boast about how you build your man, how you build, if that was the case, every man that I've been with, I built him. If that is the case, whatever you started with, that good man, because you would never marry a bad man, correct? That means that you have failed at building that man. More than likely, you broke that man during the relationship, and that's what he has become. So you created the monster that the man has become, and now you're crying that, oh, I'm miserable in my relationship. Please understand the logic of what I just said. I will repeat it. Slow it down a bit. If you met a man, you went through a relationship, you dated, you had your thing, and you were happy enough to say, yes, I will marry you. You accepted the ring. You went through the wedding. You felt elated. I've found my man. Yay! 4 years in, 5 years in. You're supposed to be working with your man. You're supposed to be helping to build your man. That means the man that you had, that you were happy with in the beginning, you're supposed to have been helping to build him. So now he's no longer there. He should be up here. Now you should even be more happier because you've built a man that you now admire even more. But that's not the case, is it? Because women rarely build their men. They break their men. So now he's back down there. He's just broken because you have emasculated him. You have used sex as a weapon. You've pretty much cut off the sex. Now he's regulated to some poor dude just begging you to have some sex with him. You force him to go out and cheat. Now he's a cheater, and now you're the victim of that. So you've broken him down to his lowest denominator. And then you complain that, oh, you're not happy. Then all of your friends and your family going, I don't understand why you with him. Because you freaking broke him. Because I am positive that when you guys attended your wedding, all of them were behind you. Oh my God, he's such a great guy. Oh, you're so lucky. Oh, you're great. Blah, blah, blah. So stop this shit about, oh, you end up in a miserable marriage. It's usually the female that controls the freaking marriage. Women break their freaking husbands, and he becomes a miserable man. Very, very few women build their men because most of you just need to be in a constant state of stimulation, constantly looking elsewhere to see what other people have because you need that in your relationship. You need that in your marriage. Why don't I have what she has? Honey, why is it that you haven't gotten me? I want to go here. Honey, I want to go. Look, Beth and Anna, she went to a vacation and this way, and she went to Greece, and they went to wherever. Why can't we go there? Poor guy's going, listen, we can't afford it. I know, but you're not working hard enough. Why is it that we don't have the money? And you're unhappy. Most relationships get into trouble because of money. And it's usually because the woman is just constantly freaking nagging the men to spend more and more and more. You know why we know this? Because men who are single save and invest a lot more money than when they're in relationships, whether they're married or not. Women don't build men. They suck men. Tell me I'm wrong. Let's listen to what else she has to say, because this is the kind of bullshit I hate to hear.
I'm happy being single. There's nothing worse than feeling lonely in a relationship. That's the loneliest place you can be.
There's nothing more horrible than being lonely in a relationship. Why would you be lonely in a relationship? You want me to tell you why? Only two things. The man is working his ass off to try to please your dumb ass. The man is working way too much, and you're pushing to be a boss bee, and more than likely, you've grown apart. That's usually what lonely in a relationship means. The man is working to please you. You're consuming too much. Listen, man, I had the opportunity to go and work and stay in Saudi when we moved back to Dubai, right? Long story. And I had the opportunity to make a shitload of money, but it would mean that my wife and kids would be in Dubai, and I would have to commute back and forth to Saudi Arabia. My wife looked at me and she said, listen, I don't want to take that chance of us being apart for these long periods of time. We're doing okay. You don't have to do this. I said, okay, cool, simple. She did not want to risk her relationship for more money. Do you understand that? For every choice we make in life, there's a trade-off. But we become so self-absorbed and so consumer-based that we don't understand that, hey, there's things that are much more important. Remember that, ladies.
So if you are umming and ahhing, you're in a miserable relationship, whatever the case is, there is nothing wrong with being single.
Yes, there is something wrong with being single. Human beings are not designed to be single. We're social creatures. There's a lot wrong with being single. Let's listen to one more Chinese lady. Let's listen to another Chinese lady on the issue and how hard it is.
This phenomenon does not mean that they are unwilling to spend money, but rather because today's entire online discourse has already pushed the relationship between men and women into a kind of confrontational dynamic. Many women subconsciously believe, if a man doesn't spend money on me, it means he doesn't value me. He's just trying to take advantage of me for free. As a result, in order to make men spend money, some women begin to use all kinds of methods. Testing, hinting, guiding, or even pressuring, to try to obtain money or material support from men. But in real life, everyone understands one thing very clearly. No one wants to be treated like an ATM. So, this really has little to do with whether a man has money or not. The key point is, too many women nowadays measure the value of a relationship in terms of money. When men encounter this too frequently, they naturally begin to feel annoyed or even repulsed. If you truly want to build a serious relationship and establish a stable and long-lasting connection, then the best approach is to avoid talking about money too early on, and try not to let financial issues become a disruptive factor between the two of you. If this man truly has feelings for you and genuinely cares about and appreciates you, he will naturally be willing to spend money and create surprises for you on important holidays or special occasions, without you having to ask for it. But if your original intention is just to make a quick profit, then it's no longer about love. At its core, it's just a transaction. After all, in this day and age, it's not easy to come across a truly decent man or a genuinely sincere woman. If you do meet one, you should learn to cherish it even more.
So my friends, listen, I'm going to lock it off there, but let me know what you think, because I am seeing more and more women who've woken up and realized that things are not getting any easier. And I'm warning you, ladies, in pretty much every one of my videos, I will say it and I will say it again. The world is changing, and it's changing quite rapidly. And if you're not partnering with a man or another woman, you're going to feel a lot of pain. In this economy that is now more robotic and AI based, it's not a joke. You have to be able to see into the future. Most men can see this problem occurring, but a lot of women just fail to see it. Find a partner. Forget this word settle. You need to understand that there's no such thing as settling. There's just a man that you can actually work with. That's it. Doesn't matter which man you choose. You're going to still have some measure of struggle. There is no such thing as a soft life for anyone except the top 10%. But then you need to ask yourself, are you a top 10% woman? And I can tell you, 90% of you are not. And despite your overinflated perception of yourself, there is a 90% chance you are not a 10% woman. Yeah, the numbers don't lie. All right? So my friends, subscribe if you haven't already. Book a session. If you need any help from me, join our membership system. And of course, pick up my Content Creators Toolkit and start creating your own content. All right? So until tomorrow, my friends, remember, whenever in doubt, always, always ask an older man. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.